everybody, welcome yourselves to the subpar Poddy C. This is officially,
unofficially,
the best podcast on the internet or whatever. My name is Stumpy. I'm going to be hosting this bad... No,
mate,
I've got a whole thing for you. I've got a thing. I've got you an intro. I'm not redoing this. I'm going to be hosting this bad boy. And joining me on my meander through Dramaville, I'm joined by my ferociously spicy-headed co-host, Cole. All right?
And my name's Cool Cole. Nice to see everybody on the podcast. Pleasure to be here. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this meander through Dramaville. I'm joined by my spicy-headed co-host, Stumpy.
Right? Why have you stolen my written-down intro?
He didn't know. I just thought of that.
You didn't. They're literally my words.
Off the dome, pal.
You've not got a good dome. Today, Cole,
yeah, mate.
Cole 93. There's been a lot of drama. Yeah. It has been revolving around some players that I really like. I like these guys. It's all about Triple Trouble today. Because, oh baby, it's gone from them being literally a team to everything being disbanded and then losing their RLCS spot in the space of about 3 days.
Yeah, it was like even less than that. It was like 24 hours. Little Tadpole wakes up. He's a nice, innocent child. Everything is good in the world. He's got to RLCS. And then all of a sudden, he turns into a big, cynical frog. Because it turns out that, trying to get rid of Kassio didn't quite work. And then, Ronaky. Oh my God, Stumpy Goblin. It's all just gone wrong, isn't it, pal?
There's a lot of, chain reactions that I found. So I tried to write it down. There's a Reddit comment. I'll need to find who wrote it down originally. But there was a Reddit comment that summed it all up so well. It was just a guy who just went through, explained what the fuck actually went on, and then I just basically put it into some better words. So we're going to be going through the drama as it happened. It's like, there's World War I channels where, it says, this happened 100 years ago today. And, it sort of explains everything that happened, with battles and shit.
I thought you meant more like Tadpole and Ronaky have split up due to Ronaky shagging Tadpole's mother.
That didn't happen. Sort of we probably should say official. As far as we know.
Well, I might have done, yeah.
Officially.
Unofficially.
Ronaky did not shag Tadpole's mother.
As far as we know. Our sources indicate.
Yeah, we got a Wikipedia-style inside source. And that is exactly what Ronaky left inside Tadpole's mother.
What is source?
His inside source, yeah.
Ew.
So, to kick things off in this Triple Trouble drama episode, the first thing that I've got is Ronaky and Tadpole unhappy, apparently, with their Season 7 RLCS result and Valencia result with Kassio. So they basically said to Kassio, all right, mate, how you doing? Cassio's like, hello, I'm a nice little French boy. And they're like, well, you know what? We don't want you anymore, lol. We're gonna go look for another third. You can go find another team. You can go looking about. But right now, we're looking for another third. You can go browsing. You can go window shopping.
Go peruse.
Exactly. Yeah. Go for a peruse. They ended up doing the DreamHack Montreal qualifiers with EyeIgnite. Now, EyeIgnite obviously coming from TSM. It seems like he's basically a free agent at this point because there's then another rumor that Alpha has left Barcelona to then end up going to TSM. So that's
at the same time. So these are happening at the same time. There's two individual strands happening at once that haven't quite met yet. Is that correct?
Basically, yeah. The only way that they have met is that EyeIgnite has come from TSM to the DreamHack Montreal version of Triple Trouble. That's basically as far as we know so far. They didn't go very well. They got beaten by two bubble teams. They basically just got smacked by two bubble teams. I think they lost 3-0-3-0.
It's more like Bubble Trouble than Triple Trouble.
Very nice. Do you remember Bubble and Squeak? Did you have that on Christmas?
Yeah, it's like an egg-based, you chuckle your Christmas turkey in an omelette and then eat it with bread or something? You're looking at me like I'm an idiot. I'm guessing. I'm clearly asking you if that's what it is. Don't look at me like I'm some sort of creep. Just say, no, that's not quite that. You were slightly off. It's this.
You are considerably off. To be fair, the good thing you got was Christmas. It's more like roast dinner, but Christmas kind of thing. You get
I think you said Christmas.
You get no, you definitely said Christmas. I heard that and thought, you're on the right track. Then you said omelette. I'm like, he's off. He's gone. He's derailed. Okay. It's like Brussels sprouts and potatoes, all sort of mashed up and fried. It's really good.
Then where does the egg go in?
There's no egg. I'm so sorry to tell you this, Cool. There's no egg.
Oh, shit.
You're out of luck there.
My life's a lie.
Yeah, so they ended up getting beaten by 2 bubble teams. Ronaky, at this point, was... This is off, like, we've read a load of twitlongers. Everything in the Rocket League community seems to come from twitlongers at this point. Ronaky was apparently having tryouts with other teams, but he wasn't aware that they were real tryouts.
That seems like a sort of, after it all happened, he was like, shit, that probably was the point where I was being the bad guy. How can I word that? It was all an accident. I didn't realise that I was playing FC Barcelona. I thought I was Alpha. That's what I thought. I thought I was Alpha, guys. Tadpole, I thought I was Alpha.
And Tadpole's there like, you're more of a beta, mate. And then he fucked his mum.
Again,
once again.
They're definitely mum swapping.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he wasn't aware they were like legit scoutings for another player, because maybe he didn't know that that Alpha was going to be going to TSM. Mm-hmm. That's sort of, I guess, his logic behind it. He just presumed it was going to be for like a stand-in spot. But at that point, why are you then looking at stand-in spots?
Yeah, it's as soon as you start playing with another team in any semi-official capacity, I feel you have to tell your guy. It's the same with us, right? It's the same with us. Like, one of us has been offered something and the other one hasn't, and we just say, oh, by the way, I'm doing this thing. Like, it's just a courtesy. Do you know what I mean? Because neither of us are ever going to tell the other one. Apart from that time I told you not to join the RLCS because I own you. Apart from then, anything else, it's like, yeah, of course you can, mate. Of course you can. But only because I gave you permission. When you get another job and you tell me that you've got it, it makes me feel in control and like I matter.
There's a lot to unpack there.
No, in all seriousness though, I think that's the point where you say, look, by the way, just so you know, I think you have to communicate.
Well, so Tadpole was then saying that he was pissed off because of all this was happening, because Ronaky didn't really tell him. So apparently Tadpole was aware that Ronaky was trying out with other teams, just like seeing what was happening. Basically, he had offers from big teams. They wasn't named what the teams were, but Ronaky had offers from big teams to do tryouts. Tadpole was aware that was happening, and he said, yep, that's fine, I will. And Tadpole was like, yeah, you know what, go for it. I'm never going to stop you from doing that. We don't have an org. Like, having an org is such a big thing at the moment, and obviously Triple Trouble have been screwed out of it a few times. I've got a little section of bullet points just titled Tadpole's Bad Luck, so we can go through them later. One of them being they were signed by Red Reserve, and then they got shut down.
I'll put some funny music over the top of that in post. I've never done that before. I'll put funny music over the top of that in post, yeah?
I like how post is just Cole later.
Call me Postman Pat, pal.
So, yeah, Tadpole was where the Ronaky was trying out with other teams, and he was apparently supporting him, saying, go for it, obviously, blah, blah, blah. Ronaky, at this point, then allegedly, this is a big, thick, big boy allegedly, gets an offer to go to Barcelona in place of Alpha, which he then accepts. After, like, with a contract, they give him a contract to sign. Ronaky signs it, then he tells Tadpole.
So that's another contentious time in all this. The fact that he's signed on the dotted line and then told his matey. This could all have been avoided if at that point, but when he gets the contract sent over, Ronaky says, look, Taddy P, I've been sent this thing. I have every intention to sign it, just so you're aware. Like, again, he doesn't even have to offer him the choice, offer Tadpole the choice. Yep. It's just saying that he's going to sign it. And that, I believe, would be drama over.
Even if he then signs it 5 minutes later and Tadpole then just reads it, that's fine, because at least he's then said it. I see why Tadpole's pissed there. So he's pissed that Ronaky didn't tell him what was actually happening and that he had an offer, let alone the fact that he accepted it. In the Twitlonger, Tadpole then said that he would have fully supported Ronaky in accepting the offer. As an org's obviously a massive thing to like pass up on when you're currently orgless. He's just annoyed that he wasn't kept in the loop. Now I've got a question here. Did Ronaky have a responsibility to tell Tadpole at this point? At the end of the day, it's business. You got to look out for number one.
So this is just after he'd signed the offer, right? You're asking?
After he's signed the offer, did he have... Oh, no, I guess the question could be... We've sort of covered it already. Like, should he have told him beforehand? Yes. The fact he told him afterwards isn't really enough, to be honest, right?
Agreed. Yeah, we also don't know how he told him. We don't know. We don't know if Tadpole had to prod him. Yeah, hey, mate, are we scrimming tonight? And then have Ronaky go, oh no, actually, by the way,
sorry, I'm moving to Barcelona.
Yeah, there's all these hows and maybes and stuff. So you and I and everybody discussing this is never really gonna have the full story. Even Tadpole's dad has said that the that the truth probably lies somewhere between the stories that those people are telling. Not because they're trying to lie, just because one naturally remembers something with their own blinkers on, right?
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Tadpole.
Yeah. What a man.
Holy shit, Tadpole! I salute that man so much. He's done such a good job. He's such a credit to the parents in Rocket League. Also, shout out to Mama Torment, who keeps harassing me on Twitter to do another podcast. There you go.
Hello.
There you go, Mama Torment. I hope you're enjoying it. So yeah, shout out to those parents. But so did Ronaky have a responsibility to tell Tadpole? Yes, before he signed it, even if he had full intention of signing it, right?
Agreed. And Base and the whole gang.
Probably, just let everybody know. So talking of Base, Base, who is their coach, then posts on Triple Trouble Twitter saying that Ronaky has left the team and Tadpole's the new captain. That came out of absolutely nowhere. I think I was like out at the time. I just saw it posted in our Discord, discord.gg/subparbitnhd, by the way. And everyone was like going mental. I was like, what's happened, lads? It can't be that big. They're on like a little bit of off season. Like everything's imploding. Triple Trouble are dead. Ronaky's fucked off. Like, what?
Yeah, it was very... I don't know, from the outside looking in, it did sort of drop out of absolutely nowhere. It was it's a weird thing, but then I'm curious, like I'm not involved in the Triple Trouble community.
Me either.
We should probably ask after the people who frequent there regularly if they had any hint at all that this was going on. Because, I mean, it's a good thing if they didn't, because you don't want that sort of stuff, and this is what we're going to get onto later, you don't want that sort of stuff being discussed in public.
Yep.
Right? So maybe at that point, the fact that this did come out of nowhere is how it should be, because it meant that everything was being discussed privately and the right way. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with us being shocked about that. I think that is going to happen if people sort of have their sources not leaking stuff. So that's okay.
Yeah, so I'd like to take ourselves on a small little meander, if pass, through the world of talking about things in public that shouldn't be public.
Okay.
Do you know where I'm going with this? Because, holy shit, it links in more than I thought.
Is this about my herpes?
No, we're not going to be covering that.
Okay, good. I can't. I tried. No creams do it.
2 weeks ago today, apparently, dating this episode, there was a tweet posted on the Triple Trouble Twitter saying that Triple Trouble playing DreamHack Pro Circuit Montreal with EyeIgnite instead of Kassio, which is cool. That's fine. Now, that's posted to Reddit by Tadpole, at which point Remco and EyeIgnite in the comments had a shit-slinging match.
Oh, yeah! God, they've been overshadowed, haven't they?
Yeah. So they then had a shit-slinging match in which there was EyeIgnite was basically replied to a comment saying, since it means either he told them that and he left TSM, or they gave the impression that they all agreed that they were going to stick together and then they kicked him. EyeIgnite then said, yeah, they said that we were going to stay together, then they kicked me. This guy, Scrogger19, he has made so much drama out of this, said, oh shit, sorry, no one deserves to get done like that. Remco said, actually, neither of that is true, but anything to start drama, I guess. Hoping to clarify at some point. EyeIgnite replies with a big bad lol, okay. I'm like, oh boy. And then basically they were just swinging at each other all over Reddit, people crying all over the place. And then I stepped in. I'm going to be honest. I stepped in.
Fuck's sake.
What do you mean, fuck's sake?
Scarron, say what you did. Just say about your shit tweet and we can move on.
No, it wasn't a tweet. It was a Reddit comment. Thank you.
You made a tweet.
No, I didn't make a tweet. Leave my Twitter alone. At Stumpy Goblin.
Twitter's so shit.
So,
tell us.
I stepped in. Basically, I said what we're echoing now is that don't argue on social media. Take it to DMs. This isn't looking good. And TSM wouldn't appreciate, or any org really, wouldn't appreciate all of this shit being out in the public because it makes them look like dickheads as an org because their players are looking like tits. So basically, same thing as we're saying here, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, obviously I'll say it here, but I don't actually think it. Like, you know, I'm sort of looking at that.
Oh, I love the drama.
Go on, EyeIgnite. Go on, son. Oh, yeah, tell everyone what happened.
I've always been public with how much I fucking love drama.
Yeah, so I knew that when you posted that. That's why I hate your tweets and Reddit posts, because I know you don't really think that. You're like, oh, don't forget, guys, to be really nice to each other, because you don't know what's going on. Like, fuck off. You
At Stumpy Goblin.
two-faced gobbert, you.
At
I know
Stumpy
your
Goblin.
game.
At Stumpy
I know your
Goblin.
game.
At Stumpy
Yeah,
Goblin.
yeah.
So yeah, basically all that stuff. And then so Base obviously posted that all on Twitter saying Ronaky left. Tadpole then drops the twit longer of the century, titled "What Went Wrong with Triple Trouble." It was really long, and it had a fucking addendum by Base.
Oh, yeah. Basically, I was going to post mine, but this pretty much covers it.
They covered the fucking Old and New Testament, for fuck's sake, Tad. Like, there's got a lot going on in there. He was
well
saying,
written. It was really well written.
It was well written, yeah. He stated his side. We've obviously been referencing that. He stated his side, and then drops the bomb that Ronaky owes him €957 total for winnings from the play, which apparently, by the way, we casted. And
when was that?
A year ago. I looked on the...
Was that with Speed? The Speed one? No, that was the Bricks with Shaq.
I looked on the Wikipedia page. I looked at just when it was. It said caster/analyst, Cole, Stumpy. Was it? Cool.
Get on. Go on. So
enough.
you did a great job, mate.
And the DreamHack Valencia apartment costs. Next question then. Is it wrong for Tadpole to air this information publicly when he had been chasing the play winnings at least for 1 year?
No, not at all. Not at all. Once it's been a year, and somebody pointed out on Twitter that he was that Ronaky was posting pictures of shoes and all that, and spending his money, which he has every right to do, as long as he pays back his matey first.
Ronaky does not pay his debts.
Yeah, it was definitely absolutely okay for Tadpole to do that at this juncture. Like, if he'd have done it when they're teammates, it's weird and passive aggressive, and why would you do that? As soon as they're no longer on the same team, you lose that sort of you lose the assumption. You lose that wall. You lose the assumption that it is going to happen, that the money will be paid back, and suddenly it becomes fair game. If it was like 3 weeks, and would be a dick move.
Yeah.
But or it would also be a dick move if Ronaky said, "Oh, I couldn't this month because."
Yeah.
Or
if he was actually giving him a valid excuse.
But it sounds like from what we hear from Tadpole, there was none of that at all.
Do you not think it's a cheap shot at Ronaky from Tadpole, basically trying to get everybody on his side?
I think it's a fucking expensive shot, mate. €957 for one shot.
That's what you paid in Vegas, right?
Yeah. No, I think that it was clearly done out of anger. Like, at that point, Tadpole was reaching for something to get at Ronaky about, something else.
Yeah, by the way, this also happened, you fuck.
Yeah. But I think that, equally, it's the only chance he's ever going to get of getting that back, and it belongs to him. It's no small amount of money. Do you know what I mean? I didn't... When I read that, it certainly stood out. It jumped out at me.
It's not like it's 80 quid, and it's like, no. Come on. Like, the fact that he was also, like you say, buying shoes and, posting stuff and all that and everything, it's a bit like, come on. Like, I don't like that. Yeah, I think you always see those things on, Reddit where it's people... saying, housemates, I think, I can't pay the rent this month. And then they're buying pizza every night and they're going out every, weekend. And it's like, get your finances straight. And also, if over the course of a year, you can't pay, firstly, the winnings, which isn't something that you shouldn't have spent, your teammates' winnings, ever. You shouldn't do that. And also DreamHack Valencia apartment costs. I don't know what the split was for them, bear in mind. I don't know if it's €900 is from the play a year ago, and then €57 on top is then from Valencia, or if it's the other way around. At which point, I feel like it then gets a little bit harsher, because it's like, well, Valencia was only it wasn't really that long ago. It was sort of, I don't know, a couple months. So you can probably chill out on that a little bit.
I see what you mean.
I think it's right for Tadpole to air it publicly, only because of the time that has happened,
and the times asked as well. Like, if he hadn't mentioned it for 6 months and then he brought it up again, it would be a dick move. But
Exactly.
Based on what Tadpole has said, I think he's in the right here.
All right. So after he was chasing, obviously, the play winnings for a year and that €957, Ronaky, he then swings back with a twit longer of his own, absolutely loving it, thinking, you can drop some paragraphs, I'll drop some paragraphs as well, son, see how you like it. He basically ignored the money thing, ignored the fact that was mentioned, just didn't direct any attention towards it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, probably not a great thing. And then defended himself on the things that Tadpole ended up criticising him for. So he was saying that he was suffering with mental health issues during that time because Tadpole and Bass, they're like best mates. Like IRL, they're besties. They're both Welsh. They love it. And they're like best mates. So he felt like they were ignoring his feelings and how he felt underappreciated. And Bass was not looking at things objectively, instead looking at it as if somebody is having a go at his mate, which is not how you should be as a team leader. Obviously, this is coming from Ronaky. We're not saying that did happen, but this is what has been said. So yeah, said he was suffering with mental health issues during that time. Shout out to Rams for chatting to him. We love Rams.
Oh yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah. He then said that he's been misunderstood in his complaints and his worries by saying that during tournaments, Tadpole was going to be was quiet when they were losing and like tilting the team. And there's nothing worse when you're playing with some mates and you start losing. I imagine in a tournament where it's worth like say 50 grand as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then your mate is just shuts the fuck up, and then like you miss something, you hear them go, or you hear them go. And he's like, oh, shut up, come on. Just talk.
I mean, at that level of competition in Rocket League, it becomes part of your job not to do that.
Yes.
Like, everyone listening to this, you and I, we've all been that guy at some point.
Look
in our
at
Rocket
Johnny
League
Boy's runs
playthroughs.
through RLCS with us. And
Johnny Boy's a piece of shit, though.
he is shit. But, like,
He's so
everyone
bad
just
at the
goes
game.
quiet, and then Johnny blames the opponents for being shit, and somehow they're still winning. Okay, Johnny.
Yeah. But when you're at that point, it's your job to not be like that.
Yes.
When you were reading through Ronaky's my side of the side of the story, Stumpy, you personally, were you nodding in agreement, or were you thinking, "Oh, I'm not sure I can see it that way"?
I liked getting a second side. I really hate making comments on anything unless I know both sides or how many sides there are to it. Because it just annoys me. Which is what Reddit are just very guilty of as a whole across the entire website. And obviously including the Rocket League esports subreddit, people will just read one thing and then take that as gospel.
Yeah.
It's like, no, listen to the other thing and then make your decision. I've had to say it on stream a few times. People said, oh, what do you think about this? I'm like, well, we don't know the other side. They could just be spouting bullshit. You don't know that. So shout out to people who do listen to both sides, because you definitely should do that, literally always.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I was looking at the tweet longer, and I appreciated that Ronaky put out a big message. I didn't like the fact that he ignored the money thing, but also, what do you say to that?
Just say, I'll pay you back. Dude, that's what you should do. Just pay him back.
Well, so you're saying don't say anything about it, just do it.
No, I'll just say, oh, by the way, my bad for the money. I paid you back. If it was me, I'd whack that at the bottom.
Fair?
And then that basically crosses that one off.
But I suppose, in theory, he doesn't have that money. He doesn't have the €957 to pay him back. So, what do you say then? Do you DM him and say, look, I bought 4 pairs of shoes.
I'll send you one of them.
I'll send you a shoe. A shoe.
No, what I'm saying is, my assumption was that Ronaky would have €957. I hope so, or else Rocket League is even more fucking perilous than we thought. Do you know what I mean? If he doesn't have that much money, then oh boy, the scene is...
As a pro player.
Exactly, a very good one as well. The scene is in trouble.
Triple trouble.
Yeah, they've done all right. They won 26k from RLCS and 24k from finishing 4th EU or whatever it was.
So, I think I heard again
about 20k each overall.
If they've been paid that yet.
True.
So, I heard from Fruity on Fruity's stream.
Fruity.
Do you remember the Ballistics Brawl?
Yeah, oh no. Yeah.
He's not been paid for that.
But we casted that. That makes
we
us the bad
casted
guys.
that as well. Yeah. Yeah.
That was the bricks. The lovely bricks.
yeah.
The original bricks.
They've not been paid for that.
For fuck's sake.
Some people, as far as I know, haven't been paid for the DreamHack Leipzig in 2018.
Why are they not all going on Twitter and just publicly accusing these people left, right, and centre?
There was also Mocket, obviously, didn't pay Freaky his winnings.
Oh yeah, but that's Mocket. Like, you know,
Was it Freaky?
dance the devil.
Pashy?
Mystic? Remco?
Fairy? Damn it! So yeah, one of them, I can't remember who, Panda? Haven't been paid. So basically, there's lots of payments not being done.
It's a thing. Okay.
We've seen it in, bear in mind, Fortnite as well.
Oh yeah, Fortnite, epic or horrific for it. But I think the point is still that if Ronaky, it's communication again, Gobberts. If Ronaky has never said to Tadpole, look, mate, I want to pay you back, but I've not been paid yet from the fucking play or whatever the hell we mentioned at the start.
Yeah.
But I'll pay you as soon as that comes in, and then he sticks to it. It's not an issue. It's been communication throughout this entire thing. You look at Ronaky's beef with Tadpole. So when I was reading his twit longer, it basically says the problem is that Tadpole could have a tilt every now and then. That happens. I don't think that's too big an issue, really, long term. But it's more about just imagine going to work every day and you're chatting with people and you feel like you're not on the same level as them. You're not their friend. You don't have a chance to work your way in.
Well, it's worse than that. They're all mates.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. You're not in that
everybody
group.
there is mates, and you're just not.
No matter what you try, it's a horrible thing, and it isolates you and it makes you feel alone. And it's on both base and Tadpole as teammates and coach to identify that and work around it, right? If that didn't happen with Ronaky, then that is a fundamental triple trouble error. They didn't know how to deal with a player that's very good. Maybe he did want more praise than he really should have got. Maybe maybe he was attention seeking. Like maybe he has one good game and he wants people to go on about how well he played. It doesn't matter if you're Tadpole and your teammates had a great game. Maybe you're thinking, oh come on, I've already complimented you. But if it makes him play better, who cares? I'd say you did really well, mate. It's not a you don't have to battle each other's egos. If that's what Ronaky needs, then at some point you have to give him that. And I don't think that it's a bad thing this team has separated at all based on the two things that I've read. Because they cannot talk to each other. But again, based on these Twitlongers, they did not understand
this
how the
entire
other one
episode
worked.
is based on what Tadpole has said and what Ronaky has said. No cross-pollination between the two, just looking at two things objectively.
They didn't understand how the other one operated, how the other one worked, and if they did, it seems like they didn't bother to try to get round that. So equally for Ronaky, maybe he knows when Tadpole's tilting, he could have learnt a way to deal with it. Maybe when that's happened, just shut up, just let him be, because he's going to get over it in half an hour, right? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe just talk to your other teammate. At that point, talk to Kassio, talk to EyeIgnite if you're playing the Montreal qualifiers.
You learn this stuff.
My thought is, Ronaky is the captain, or was the captain, when they were playing. So is it not up to him to stand his ground and sort out Tadpole, and make sure that he's directing that at him, and say again to base, mate, look, let's just think this objectively. Was Ronaky being too passive, maybe, as a captain to actually get that respect that he did need?
I feel that once you're in the position that Ronaky seems to have been in, where he was the outsider, pulling rank would not have gone down well. I don't think pulling rank would have gone down well at all. It's
not gone well regardless, like either way.
No, you're right.
It's ended up in a shit show. I feel like he could have done it as the last Hail Mary.
Maybe.
I just gone,
sort yourself out, Taddy P.
You know what? I'm going to Barca in a couple of weeks. Let's just go ham at Tadpole for a bit.
Well, to be fair, if he had said that, they'd have known that he's going to Barca in a couple of weeks, so that would have probably fixed the issue.
Ronaky didn't know he was trying out. Ronaky didn't fucking realise he's there playing just a load of scrims, and they're just beating everyone, and he's like, this is really good. I'm going to go play with Triple Trouble. They're like, you what?
Ronaky blinks and he wakes up in sunny Spain. He's like, oh, what am I doing here? Why am I in the Bernabeu? Nope, the other one.
The Maldives.
Nope.
Cyprus.
Nope.
Malta.
No, not the Bernabeu.
Sicily.
Camp Nou. It's Barcelona's ground.
There we go. What's the Bernabeu?
Just for your help. That's Real Madrid's ground.
Okay, both Spain though, right?
Yes, very Spain. Very Spain
nice.
indeed.
Well done, Spain. So the other question that I think has to come from this, obviously we're saying about Base being really good mates with Tadpole, and that causing issues in of itself. James Bot put out a tweet saying basically you shouldn't let you shouldn't have your mate be your manager, be your coach, whatever it is, because it ends up badly. His tweet exactly was, call me crazy. You're crazy, James. But managers should not be, quote, friends of any one particular player on a team. This is not calling anyone out. Lol.
Yeah, right.
It happened quite soon after. It's not bad that you're literally calling Base out. But I've seen this dynamic on many teams. A manager needs to be independent and also able to deliver hard news. A neutral manager can save a team. Now, James, I agree. I agree with what he's saying there. And I think it's a very, very important message that you need to have a manager that can be objective and doesn't side with people based on who they are. They side with people based on the point they're putting forwards. Cloud Fuel, quickly, then replied saying, the sooner people realise this is the business, the better. Long gone are the days of friends just playing, quote, pretend esports for fun. Unlike knowledge, experience and professionalism, friendship isn't a valid qualification to be a manager, coach, etc. Now, at that point, it seems like he's bringing Base's reputation into disrepair. But it does seem like Base has done a pretty decent job, apart from when it comes to communication.
I thought you were going to say Base has done a decent job at doing that himself. I was like, all right, come on, he's not done that badly. No, all I was going to say earlier was when you said that the sort of objective manager should be able to choose sides, they also need to know that it's not about taking sides. It's about making each side... a perfect managerial thing would be making each side think they've won. You know, in theory, everyone thinks, "Oh, thank God, that's finally changed."
Yeah, I've come well out of that.
Yeah, but do I agree in general? I think that let's liken it to a life experience I have: a strict teacher, right? The sort of teacher that's funny as hell and likable and stuff. But if they get annoyed and if you're in trouble, you know they are going to tell you off. I think that is an important quality in a coach. You can have, you can be relaxed with them. You can get drunk with them at an event. You are looking forward to seeing them because they're part of your team and they are going to be around. They're not some shadowy figure in the background, right? But then equally, you need to have that respect that if they say, "Look, you're fucking out of line here," you trust them.
You listen.
You believe them. Exactly.
Well.
They have to command that respect, and that doesn't happen by being two best buddies because it's impossible to suddenly switch that dynamic up. You lose that dynamic of being coach, person in charge, person in command, person with the answers, player with the skill that needs a bit of help maneuvering through this crazy esports world. You lose that dynamic when they're just best mates.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. It's what Cloudfuel said, I think, sums it up well. Friendship isn't a valid qualification, which is completely true. Chrome also then replied, obviously being the manager. Yeah. I feel like you could be friends with the players. However, it's up to the manager to not play favoritism and to be able to talk with each member equally. Yep. Again, I agree. It's listen to their points, not who they're coming from, and you should be able to sort of anonymize and isolate the points themselves and strip them away from the person to make your job obviously as non-biased as possible. And I think when you come into a team being somebody's mate, you're setting yourself up for disaster. It's like saying never hire family, and it's completely true.
Or live with a friend.
Yeah, or sleep with somebody that you're living with.
Sleep with someone you're related to.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, don't sleep with base. I think it's just don't muddy that role by merging two roles together, and I think that's what has happened.
It's really bloody tricky though. Like, say when Base and Tadpole were, so Base, let's say they never met, and Base goes, "Oh, I'm looking to manage a Rocket League team, and you guys are on the up, should we do it?" And then they're getting more and more friends. Base isn't able to then say, "Oh, we should stop being friends." Do you know what I mean? You can't stop that from happening. It's all in that role that comes down to the manager's.
At that point, it's the intricacies. It's the intricacies of that friendship.
Yeah.
It's then being able to identify. It's such a hard thing to do. It's why when you have a good manager like Gregan, that you can be able to identify. Okay, I'm not being objective right now. You're able to self-criticize and objectively speak instead of what you want to say. Even if you think that somebody else is, even if you think I'd like for my mate to win this one, it's obviously not about winning, but I'd like for my mate to win this one, then you need to be able to look at it in an objective manner rather than as a my mate versus somebody else.
I feel like we're telling all of them off here. I feel like we've told off Ronaky, the money thing, they're not talking to them. We've told off
good
Tadpole, being a tilty boy. Again, assuming what Ronaky said, being a tilty boy, not communicating with him enough, not taking the time to learn how Ronaky works, maybe not dropping his ego and saying, "Ronaky, you played great, mate, you carried us," if that's what's needed for the team, even if he doesn't think it. And finally, Base, it seems that there was definitely a clique, whatever the word is. Clique. Yeah. There's definitely a clique within the team, and I hope that they all learn from what's happened because Ronaky will learn blah blah blah, Tadpole will learn blah blah blah, and Base will also use his experience and learn blah 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 because there's potential there in each of these individuals. They just have to not convince themselves that they were completely in the right, because I guarantee that one of the fuckers was.
Yeah, I mean, that, again, praise Tadpole for saying, like, it's literally his son that he's talking about, and he goes, well, we don't know the truth. It's somewhere in the middle.
What a man.
And that's Tadpole should be their coach. Why not? Let's get him in. I've said don't hire family. Let's get Tadpole in. I like that one.
Apart from Tadpole.
Yeah. So, point I was going to bring up as well about this was, should a good friend be your manager? It works for Vitality with Gregan.
Is Gregan their friend? I don't know.
I think it is a different situation.
Yeah.
Because Gregan was hired, then scouted this team. But ultimately, I guess it's the difference between friend and friendly.
Okay.
Because to be a friend with somebody is that you are getting rid of everything that links you in your job role, so you're not their manager anymore. Are you still their friend? And are you more than that, just an acquaintance type? Not acquaintance, because like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Colleague.
Yeah, and then getting to a point of then being friendly but professional. It's getting that professionalism and making sure that comes first, rather than being the friend of your underlings, your team.
And knowing when to use each one as well. You know, if they've just won, take them out for some drinks. It's not going to muddy the waters, you know, and that's fine.
Yeah. Don't pull, and don't be like, hey, get an early night tonight, lads.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what? No, Gregan, we just won Worlds. It's like, hey, Fairy Peak, with your new fucking haircut.
Look at me. I am the coach now.
I'm the coach now. So, yeah, I do think it's a different situation. I did see that somebody atted Gregan on this as well, Aquarius RL. Gregan then said, I'm friends with our players in their own way.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's saying that he kisses Kate up on the sly.
Oh, man. Kiss Kate on the sly? Where does he kiss?
On the sly, yeah.
Where does he kiss Fairy?
He doesn't. Oh, okay. So the next one we're going to be looking at is Kassio. We're not having Kassio for a while. I wonder what he's up to. I wonder where little old innocent Cassio's doing. He's just sort of floating about. We've spoken all about Ronaky, all about Tadpole.
Yeah.
What's Kassio doing? I wonder what he's doing. Oh, he's joined Veloce. So he's now their third. We're getting rid of Niels Cook, meaning the Triple Trouble no longer have that 2/3 of their original RLCS roster, meaning the Triple Trouble are no longer in the RLCS, and they forfeited their place to Veloce.
Wow.
So Kassio has left Tadpole whilst he is hanging on by a thread, and has now gone to Veloce, meaning Triple Trouble don't have 2/3. They're out of there because you need 2/3 of the original roster to maintain in the RLCS. And then Veloce, because they were third place, they then immediately go up.
I mean, you and I said, and a lot of people have said, from the beginning of this season, or the end of last season, should I say, Veloce deserved to have been promoted.
Undoubtedly.
Not like this. Not like this.
Poor Niels Cook as well, by the way.
Yeah, he's the big loser here, really, isn't he, unfortunately? But at least it was for Rocket League reasons that he's gone, as far as we know. Do you know what I mean? At least his was a straight swap. That's just what happens in show business, baby. But yeah, so Kassio, basically, he had the choice of, do I keep Tadpole and Triple Trouble in the RLCS, or do I take Veloce minus Niels Cook up to the RLCS? And he was like, yeah, let's go Freaky. Let's do this, boy. And he's done it. Freaky and Flame, isn't it now? And
yeah, Freaky, Flame, and Kassio. This is a presumed swap at the moment. Like, pretty much locked in.
Okay.
A presumed swap. It's not an official thing right now, but it's what has been floating about.
Well, it's the only thing that makes sense.
In very high regard.
Because otherwise, if Kassio could have stayed with Triple Trouble, if Kassio leaves Triple Trouble, he's lost his personal RLCS spot.
Yes.
The only move that makes sense for him is to take that, which makes him the most valuable player in the world, by the way, to Veloce Esports.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it makes him the most valuable player in the world to Veloce. So those two have just magnetically, they were swirling, and they found each other. They've been locked together. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Absolutely mad. So Kassio has had one of the most tactical moves coming out of this. He gains a team that is currently on the upswing because they have done so well to go 7-0, just lost out on one day, which, by the way, what a bullshit system that is. He gains an org with Veloce, and that therefore means that he no longer needs to fund his own trips to events to compete. And also then gets a wage from it. Kassio has done so well out of this, and I cannot blame him whatsoever. It would be harsh to blame him. He has done a very, very good swap here, and he has looked out for number 1 ultimately. Mm-hmm. He feels this is the better one to be going for. Again, he's gone to an org.
I was going to say, yeah, he has got an org.
Like, he's done so well here.
Yeah, I mean, he's the lucky one, really. But Veloce could have signed Tadpole as well. So it's not just a case of, like, Kassio's got lucky. They, presumably, at some point, have chosen Kassio over Tadpole, right?
Unless Kassio was already doing... I guess in theory, but I imagine Kassio was doing tryouts whilst he was told that he could be doing tryouts.
Yeah,
yeah. Right at the start.
Yeah, Ronaky's...
Yeah, Ronaky Tadpole were like, go look around, it's fine. This won't bite us in the future.
Well, it's a weird thing to do as well. Like, basically what they've done there is put him in limbo. Because he's sort of playing with them when they need him to, but equally he's sort of looking for other teams. Like, it'd be better just to cut him and say, look, you got to go from the team, mate. Because that just speeds the whole process along. So that's sort of half firing him. Imagine being semi-fired from a job. Basically, you turn up every day, but you might not be able to the next day. Do you know what I mean? That's the equivalent of what they've done to him there. So that wasn't ideal.
Wasn't ideal.
No.
But I also like the fact that they didn't just straight up fire him without sort of giving him that time and saying, look, you're on your...
There's two ways of looking
I guess
at
it's
it,
how you look at it. So it's you're technically on the team, and if we can't find a third, then we're still together.
Hey.
How good is that? But then Kassio's there like, but I want to have a team, and I now... Oh, Veloce.
Freaky.
And then joins that one. I was then looking at Beyond the Summit, because that's happening in a couple of weeks. Originally, they had a word with the admins, and they were able to compete in that with a different roster, which I then believe included Ronaky, and then instead had EyeIgnite. I think that was it. I think it was then Ronaky, Tadpole, EyeIgnite. Imagine those two on the sofa.
Are TSM going as well?
No, TSM aren't going, no.
Oh, because imagine them against fucking Remco. That sofa would just be like, to be a fly on the wall. To be a viewer. I could be a viewer.
After that then, I guess it was with Kassio. So imagine it was Tadpole, Kassio, EyeIgnite. And then Kassio then fucks off. And then they've had to forfeit their spot because now it's only one member from the original ones. So now I looked at the Wikipedia page. There's currently nobody. It says TBD. So to be decided.
Shotgun.
We don't know who it's going to be. Who's going to be on that? What, just you as a team? Can I have?
Yeah, go on then. You and me. We'll 2v3 him.
Yeah. We'll get EyeIgnite. I heard he's floating about. That basically sums up the drama thus far that's happened. But this is one isolated incident, which
just
is
quickly,
pretty
sorry,
big.
can I just say, this is all true as of 1st of August 2019. If tomorrow, our time, it comes out that Kassio was, I don't know, stabbing Tadpole behind Ronaky's back, then, like, we didn't know that as we said this. And I really hope that isn't the case, because then the people turn to me and go, how the fuck did you know that he was literally stabbing Tadpole?
Should we chuck out headlines and just see if they're, like, true at the
go on
time?
then.
Like, when this comes out?
Bong.
EyeIgnite and Tadpole team up, and they pick up Lethamyr, who then moves to Europe.
Okay. Give me a bong.
There we are. That's my prediction. It's big.
Give me a bong.
Bong.
Global warming linked to Niels Cook being kicked.
Jesus. Niels Cook.
Fucking hell,
What
Niels.
the hell? Can you stop burning tyres in his back garden, please? For one fucking minute. So, yeah, this is preceded by a fuckload of bad luck on the side of Tadpole, which I don't think a lot of people will know. I had to go digging a little bit for this. But just to run through it, let's look at each point. So the first point is, we briefly mentioned it before, is that they were, as Triple Trouble, they were signed by Red Reserve. So this is back when it was Speed, Tadpole, Ronaky. They were signed by Red Reserve. That was their first org. big org, like 450,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah, they're in the Call of Duty sort of upper echelons as well. They're big in that scene, or they were.
Unfortunately, Red Reserve went into liquidation, and they shut down. Tadpole and the gang are left completely orgless.
Rip.
And they float about once again as Triple Trouble. They rebrand their Discord back. Then after, they then earn they earn the RLCS spot after an amazing RLRS and off season. Therefore, you'd think, okay, this team's going to be staying together. Speed, however, leaves Triple Trouble. He then joins Flipside. So, on very short notice, they then need to get Kassio. And I don't believe that Speed did inform the team in particularly good way and in quite short notice once again.
Yeah, Speed wasn't the most popular person in that community straight after it happened. But, I mean, those guys are all pals now. That's all being sorted out. I think we have to remember as well that these guys aren't trained sports professionals or businessmen. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time they're doing something and, you know, the logic could be, oh, why would I tell my teammate that I'm trying with other people, because that might tilt them and make them sad, because it probably won't happen. That there is logic as to why someone like Ronaky would not communicate these things. They have to be taught. And I think that's so important that, be it Psyonix or some esports mystical organization, take it upon themselves to provide this sort of information. Or maybe the orgs themselves, but then that's the problem because they don't have an org. But I just think in general there has to be some sort of protection for these players because they are ultimately kids playing a game that are not trained businessmen. And these quarrels... And
they're expected to be.
These quarrels as well have... Imagine if you were an org. Imagine if you were Optic. Like, hey, we're Optic. Yeah, let's go. Gamer Fuel.
Thank you for buying me Immortals.
And you're watching these three players, you know, Kassio, Ronaky, and Tadpole. You know, I might hire these guys at the end of the season. Let's just have a look. I might get into Rocket League.
Which a lot of orgs do.
I'm sure.
They just... They look on and they see how players conduct themselves on social media.
Absolutely.
It is a massive thing because some orgs as well, they're going to want to get content out of you. And they're going to want to make sure that you have a good following and that you are not a dickhead.
So, which brings me back to my point. Imagine if those guys were sort of watching them thinking, and a million other, you know, orgs we could come up with, watching them, they'll be thinking, oh, thank Christ we didn't get involved in Rocket League. Bunch of wankers. Like, because they won't bother reading the Twit
don't blame them.
They won't bother reading the Twit loggers. They'll just see, oh God, this is all blown up. Yeah, we'll give that one a miss. So, you know, look at it from Psyonix's point of view, like the top of Rocket League. It's good for those guys to provide information about this to players, to upcoming players, you know, even as a free service, because ultimately, as soon as a player becomes remotely relevant, they are representing Rocket League, they're representing Psyonix, and they're representing this community.
I mean, we saw that there are tweets that are dug up from, unlike Steam comments and stuff like that have been dug up
matey who got
from
promoted.
Rettles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he posted some pretty horrible things, pretty racist things, literally N-wording about, and that screwed him a bit. And he got fucked out of the RLCS for, I think, a very short period. And they were like, we're not going to have you in there. What the fuck are you doing?
Was that Bread?
What's going on here?
Was he a Bread player originally?
I don't know anything about North American Rocket League. They're irrelevant. So yeah, always, this is just a general thing. Again, just don't be a dickhead. Don't be a dickhead on social media because, Jesus Christ, everybody is watching. Everyone is watching.
Can we go back to Tadpole's bad luck?
You love Tadpole's bad luck.
I don't love it. It's a fascinating thing. Like, I've written esports documentaries, and Tadpole has got esports documentary written all over him. Some of the shit that's happened to that man.
Do you wanna kick off about this thing that you've eloquently put in our Google Doc of just Johnny thing?
Yeah, well, this is like before the Red Reserve stuff happened. The first time I ever heard of Tadpole was when he was arguing with Johnny about something. It sort of ties into the bad luck with Tadpole thing. I have no idea who was in the right or in the wrong. I can't find any information. I have half a memory of Tadpole and Johnny Boy arguing over Twitter about something. Johnny Boy loves it. Tadpole was probably loving it too. And then, that sort of got us on the road of, oh, this guy, he's a bit unlucky, isn't he?
Both of us thought he was just very toxic and a dickhead.
Yeah,
because he was being toxic and a dickhead.
From our perspective, because we knew Johnny. I'm sure Johnny was being toxic and a dickhead too, because he is.
Oh, because he is toxic.
Both of those things.
And a dickhead, yeah.
I wouldn't say he's toxic and a dickhead. I'd say that Johnny is a toxic dickhead, which is slightly different.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair though. No, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Tadpole's bad luck Another check mark on his history is there were rumours, there were stirrings in the wind that Triple Trouble were going to be signed by Fnatic.
Oh.
Big old Fnatic.
What
After
a
they dropped
chauffeur.
Snasky in the gang. Yeah, got rid of Snasky, got rid of all them lads. As a Gfinity Elite Series team for Season 5.
Where's
Another
that?
£50,000 on the line. Gfinity indefinitely postponed the Elite Series. Fnatic no longer have an interest in getting a Rocket League team.
I love the Gfinity. I think we're more unlucky than fucking Tadpole there. I missed that thing.
I love the Gfinity Elite Series.
Mate, it was so good.
Put that back on Twitch, I reckon.
Yeah. Bring it back. Whack it on Twitch. Away we go. You, me, Tommy
Away we
Deeks.
go.
Get Doomsy in. Get
Tommy
Doomsy
Deek and
in.
Harry.
Oh man,
Oh.
Ariel.
Oh, I love Ariel. Did you see she's got a Radio 1 show?
I knew she did it like 1 a.m. like the early hours. Is it still that? or
No,
has it
she
moved
has
up?
got a weekend Ariel free show.
Is that? Do they call it Ariel 3 o'clock? At 3?
I don't know. They should do. DM them.
But no, that's brilliant. I'm happy for her. Good stuff.
It's amazing. We were DMing, obviously.
Fuck off, man.
So it literally benefits you when I DM.
Yeah, alright. It doesn't mean I can't tell you to fuck off. It benefits you when I tell you to fuck off. It's my catchphrase. It's going to be on t-shirts. Fuck off, Gobbo.
Fuck off. I love that. A t-shirt. Nothing not even saying Cole and then quotes. Just fuck off.
Fuck off.
In Comic Sans. So yeah, Fnatic were going to pick up Triple Trouble. Didn't, lol. Method, again to the Elite Series, Method offered Tadpole a sub spot in the Gfinity Elite Series. I think this was back in Season 3
Yeah,
or 4.
we've gone back here.
Yeah. But Tadpole declined as he had a starter spot on the Reason Gaming squad, an offer from them. Higher-ups of Reason Gaming didn't sign a contract to take part in the Gfinity Elite Series. Therefore, Tadpole was left teamless. But that's not it for Tadpole for that season of the Elite Series, because he then went to Unilad to see if they're interested in picking up a Rocket League team, basically like a little trial thing. They fucking loved it. They're like, yes, we'll get you in. We will sign you. You'll be in the Elite Series. Away you go. 3 out of 3. Third time's the charm. They ghosted him for 2 weeks and ended up signing 6 other players.
6 is so many players.
That is so many more.
Imagine you go and get a job at Tesco. And you're stacking shelves, right? You're there, you're in the interview, you're really nervous. It's your first job, you need it to sort of feed your mum and that.
And I'm good at stacking shelves.
You're really good, you're really tall. You're sort of lifting them, you're putting them at the back,
Yeah.
you can help old grannies, sort of get the stuff from the
Yeah.
top, all that jazz. And they sit you down and they go, hey, Stumpy, so I know that you tried to get this job stacking shelves in Tesco. How do you feel the interview went?
I think it's gone really well. Yeah, I think it's gone fantastically, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you think that. Good to keep the old confidence up because we've decided to hire 6 other people instead.
What, instead of me and 5 others?
No, it
presumably?
was going to be you. We went with 6 others instead.
That's insane. Why is that a good business move?
We've gone with 6 others instead. Could you just...
Holy shit. Imagine that situation, but you were told by Tesco, we love you. Start in a few weeks.
And you'd already rejected Asda a few weeks earlier.
Because they were going to only get you on at night.
Yeah, some bullshit.
Oh, fucking Tadpole has had the worst luck in Rocket League. It's horrible. It's so harsh.
It is harsh.
It's so harsh.
If he's listening to this, by the way, Tadpole, if we've forgotten anything, feel free to compile us a list or make us a tweet of all your bad luck. Like,
Please
do.
do.
Feel free, you can DM it to us because people who don't get that you're responding to us might think that you're just being if you post like, I've been so lucky about a lot, it might come across as being a little bit of a bitch. But no, I'm just curious, objectively, of all the shit luck that you've had because I've seen him laughing about it on Twitter.
Because you have had some horrible luck.
Yeah, I have seen him laughing about it on Twitter. So it's a he and his mates are aware that it's getting a bit silly at this point.
It's a spoken topic.
Yes.
So, yeah. Bad luck, Tad.
Bad luck. It's a good name for him, that.
Bad luck, Tad, on the ball. Bad luck, Tad, at the right wall. And obviously, with all these roster moves happening, I thought I'd just compile things that are in the works and basically confirmed but not fully.
Bong.
So, Tadpole and EyeIgnite are presumably free agents, and they are incredible pickups for a team needing a third.
Bong.
Alpha is presumably going to TSM to replace EyeIgnite. That is currently unconfirmed.
Bong.
Kassio to Veloce.
Bong.
Ronaky to Barca. So we didn't really talk about that, really, did we?
No, we didn't. That's a hell of a
The
move.
team that he was trying out with that he didn't fucking realise he was doing tryouts for is Barcelona, which therefore means that Alpha goes to TSM, which therefore means that EyeIgnite then goes to Tadpole.
Straight swap. Straight swap.
Basically, that's a three-way swap, right?
Alpha. No, because EyeIgnite and Ronaky have swapped. No, they haven't. Sorry, ignore me.
No, they haven't.
Ignore me. Yeah, stupid ginger. Ugly ginger. Bad ginger.
And then Kassio, deal of the century, goes to Veloce.
That's so...
What a businessman.
Apart from Tadpole, that's amazing. I feel sorry for Tadpole, but that is amazing that Kassio has been like, oh, well, do you know what then?
Do you know what? I'll have RCS then. Different team, but I'll have.
Yeah.
So a few questions that I wanted to ask, and just go through them quickly.
Okay.
Is the 2/3 roster rule fair? So Cole, would you like to explain what the fuck this 2/3 roster rule is first, and then say if you think it's fair?
Yeah, Team Rocket, Stumpy, Cool Colin, Shogun make it to the RLCS.
No shock.
Yeah, you know, we were expected to. But we want to make a change because Shogun's got a really fucking annoyingly round head. It's tilting us at the start of
Too
games.
big.
So we're like, Shogun, you're out of here. He goes, we bring someone in, that's fine. We still have 2/3 of the original roster. Team Rocket carries on with Doomsy, everyone's a winner. But it has to be the same season. The same season, if I pull rank and I go, look at me, I am the captain now, and I go, Stumpy and Shogun, you're out because you're tall and he's got a round head. You guys are both gone. I bring in Doomsy and say, EyeIgnite. I then have to forfeit my place in the RLCS. But I look at Stumpy, I look at Shogun, and I go, you know what? Worth it.
God. That felt too real. Holy shit, EyeIgnite's coming to my flat. He's replacing me on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically need to keep 2/3 of your roster. At that point, though, by the way,
than what I did.
me and Shogun could tell you to fuck off.
Oh, you could? Yeah, you're right.
So if you then say to me, and if somehow at this point, you say to me and Shogun, fuck off, lads, we'll say, no, Cole, you fuck off. And then we keep our spot.
I'll be like, say what?
Crazy. So do you think that rule is fair?
Yes, it keeps it weighted to players instead of orgs. If there was no 2/3 rule, you'd have fucking teams like Evil Geniuses come in with their big old ego, they'd get relegated, or the players representing the org would get relegated, and Evil Geniuses would post out a tweet going, as an org, we don't represent the second tier of any esport. So what they're going to do...
Cole, they did do that.
Yeah, I know they did. So that means that they're backing out of Rocket League for a while, right?
Yeah, extra dickheads.
My point is, so yeah, that's the point I'm making. The point, if an org tweets that, I'm thinking, fuck off, Evil Genius. I hated that so much. I really hated that. But if there wasn't this 2/3 rule, they could literally go to, say, Veloce now on the RLCS. Evil Geniuses could go to them and be like, wait, am I right here?
Yes, they can go there and buy them.
And just buy them. But they could do that anyway, can't they?
They they can do that, but they can't replace they can't replace that team with their players.
Oh, it has to be a separate.
So
I see. They have to go sideways.
So they can't buy Veloce's spot in there with different players. They can put their branding on players that are already in.
Yeah,
but they can't put their branding and their players into the RLCS just by buying it.
You're right. So basically, what it is say Veloce get promoted. And then Veloce's owners decide that... Who the fuck's there now? Fucking Kassio and...
Flame
and Freaky aren't good enough. They can't kick those three and bring in 3 other players because the spot belongs to the players, or at least 2/3 of them, not the org. That's the magic difference. And yes, that's very important in my opinion.
Yep. I completely agree. Next question. Should there be, this is something that I want personally, a transfer window added so players can't be poached at random? So my points about this was, it's going to add security for players being together, because you need to be sure in your decisions, and obviously there's already a roster lock for these competitions, but if you're having it in a season, you need to have that security thinking, at least my teammate isn't going to be fanning about trying out with Barca, and might not realise it, lol. Ronaky, how the fuck did that happen? Yeah, and then also it means that orgs, in theory, again, a theoretical positive, they're more likely to buy a team because their roster will be locked in for a season at least. And they can at least get that in, obviously, for the players that are going to be in the area. And also it means that all of this drama is kept to just one time. And you have a week of bidding.
Yeah, we can actually enjoy that drama rather than...
Yeah, because it's all scheduled drama.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
What do you think?
I agree. The only downside I can think of is, say this was happening between Ronaky and Taddy P and all that. You know, Ronaky decides to strop and not put his all into it, and he's messing about, and he's stuck with them, they're stuck with him. But this is their livelihood. I don't think a player would actually strop at a tournament. So I don't think that's a realistic possibility in a three-man team event. Yeah. But that is the only negative I can think of. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that's a great idea.
I think it'd just be good just to have a time. It's like, cool, yeah, rostered next week. And then everyone's like thinking, everyone's like planning. It's all a little bit under the radar. Everyone's being a little bit sly, a little bit sneaky. And then it all comes out. And then actually, it turns out that Dignitas and fucking Cloud9, they both want EyeIgnite. And it's like, oh, what's going to happen here? Who's he going to pick?
See ya, Squishy.
Yeah, screw you, Squishmeister.
Torment can stay though. Lovely Torment and Mama Torment.
We love Mama Torment. And Torment, obviously. Screw you, Squishy. Also Gimmick or whatever. If you guys, by the way, have any thoughts about these, make sure that you drop a comment. We're going to post it on Reddit. It's going to be on YouTube. This also goes out on Spotify and iTunes. So you can't really comment on there, but tweet us if you're listening to it there.
In all seriousness, anyone enjoying this, give us a tweet. Be like, I love the podcast, lads. We love
I love it. I love seeing people tweet it. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's the nicest thing. And then our final question, not really related to any of this, is just NRG's logo. Loud, isn't it?
Speaking of not really being related to any of it, it's not really related to anything esportsy. NRG's logo. It's shit.
It's
rubbish. Awful. Colourful.
Shit.
But not in a good way. Gradient. I saw somebody do a speed run of designing NRG's logo.
Oh, was that in Paint?
No, I think it was Photoshop. They did it properly. They did it with like a gradient tool.
Oh, okay.
It was 43 seconds.
Wow.
And they sort of Googled a like 80s IBM logo or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they turned it into a gradient and wrote NRG underneath. Done.
Is it good that it's not esportsy?
I wouldn't use the word good in a sentence about it.
There's a lot of gamer branding.
Yeah,
gamer branding is gross. It's all like angular and edgy and red. I'm looking at my monitor. I have an Acer Predator monitor. It has got gross branding on the front. It's like really like heavy metal style font, and it says Predator, and it has like a little logo that looks like a little prick just sitting there. So yeah, gamer branding is terrible. I like the fact that it's not gamer branding. That's what I like about it. It's not gamer branding, and if they're going the way of, we said it before, if they're going the way of 100 Thieves and they're becoming a brand that is focused on fashion, and they are focused on themselves, you're giving me a grimace, and they are focusing on themselves outside of just esports, and they're expanding into lifestyle, then I personally like it.
You're saying that you like the theory. You're not saying that you like the execution.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, correct.
That's a very important distinction here.
If they, in theory, do everything that would make it good, then it would be good.
Agreed. Agreed completely. I reckon that's the real reason that Fiery B had a little retirement. He saw that and he was like, this is not for me. This is not for me. Turbo, this is more you, mate.
Give that a
You
GG.
look fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, there's been a lot of drama. Been a lot of falling out. Kassio's come out of it like a fucking champion.
He has.
Which I fully respect. Good man, Kassio. Thank you, otherwise, guys, for listening. This podcast is made possible by our lovely, beautiful patrons. We, on a note about our Patreon, patreon.com/subparbinhd, we realised that we couldn't fulfill as much of the tiers as we wanted to, and we felt that was unfair. I think we mentioned this on a previous podcast. We might have done, who knows. But we basically reduced it, so the tiers available now only go up to $25. If you want to support us to get more podcasts out there, so we don't need to obviously be... It's trying to like balance the streaming, our literal actual TV show, and doing podcasts and other projects like casting various events or doing other shows. It makes podcasting obviously a viable thing, because I fucking love doing a podcast. I love it so much.
You're quite good at it, mate.
Thanks, mate. So make sure that you
you too, Cole.
fancy it.
Cheers.
Support us on there. Cole, you're good as well, mate.
Thank you. Call me Ronaky.
So yeah, if you want to support us, go on there. That'd be very, very appreciated. Any amount is obviously super, super, super welcome. Otherwise, Cole, that was good. That was a nice little podcast.
That was lovely. It's good to be back. These will be out, every 2-3 weeks, whatever.
Yeah. I think we whack on our schedule, on our Twitter, a podcast section, and maybe we stream them. Maybe we stream this recording.
Okay, we could do a little section that's like questions. We take 2 or 3 or something if it comes up.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But yeah, I think whack it on the schedule. People know when it is. People get to hear more about it. But otherwise, guys, have a fantastic rest of your day. Or if you're going to sleep, sweet dreams. If you're just waking up, buenas noches. If you're on the way to work, guten tag. What the fuck else could people be doing right now?
Orgy.
Driving? Sorry?
Orgy?
Imagine if we're the soundtrack to an orgy.
Insert.
Don't. No. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Fuck me.